Hi, in this video we are going to talk about a leading programming language called Python. This is currently used by most of the organizations to provide easy and efficient solutions. Now, let's get into the video. First, let's see what is Python. Python is a very high level and object-oriented programming language like C++, Java. But the main difference between the other languages and Python is its user-friendly syntax and semantics. Python programs are executed by an interpreter. In case of other object-oriented languages, compiler is being used to execute a set of code. In case of compiler, the source code will be converted into an intermediate code, then the executable will be created from the intermediate code. But the interpreter will create the executable directly from the source code. Like in Python, the source code will be converted into a bytecode, which will then be executed by the processor. Python is made of built-in data structures combined with dynamic typing and dynamic binding. It makes the programming easier and efficient. Let's step back in the timeline and see the history of Python. Python was created and introduced by Guido van Rossum in the year 1991. Interestingly, it is named after the BBC show Monty Python's Flying Circus, which was aired at the time. The first major version, 2.0, was released on October 16, 2000 with many new features. The sequel, Python 3.0, was released on December 3, 2008. The current version of Python we are using is 3.8.5. The important question raised by everyone is, why do we need Python when there are so many programming languages? Here are some factors. Python is very simple to use and extensible, meaning Python code structure is very easy to understand and easy to implement. There is no need to declare any variables and objects explicitly in your program. Python allows you to create and achieve complex operations like file merging, file comparison in one-liner statement. Also, Python is a primary language chosen by data science professionals due to its extensive support of libraries. Unlike any other programming language, Python has automatic memory management. You don't have to code for memory management operations. Python can handle it by itself. To understand the benefits of Python better, I'm giving a comparison of Python and Java here. First, complexity. In terms of code complexity, Python requires less lines of code, wherein Java requires more lines of code. Compilation process. Python takes interpreted language approach, wherein Java takes compiled language approach. Typing. Python takes dynamically typed, wherein Java it's statically typed. Legacy. Python has less prior versions, Java has more prior versions. Productivity. Python is more productive because of its simpler code structure. Java is less productive due to its validations in variable declaration and code. Here is an example of how the same process is achieved in both Java and Python. On the left hand side, we are given an example of reading a file and printing it out through Java, and it takes nearly 17 lines of code to complete this process. On the right hand side, we are given the code of Python for the same process, but it takes only 4 lines of code. So this is a major advantage of Python. And as you can see, there is no object declaration, there is no file streaming required in Python. So just takes 4 lines of code to complete the whole process within no time. So this is the main advantage of going to Python, and we have more to come. In today's technology world, Python is being used in a lot of domains, but I just want to highlight some of the important places where Python is applied. The first one is web development. There are a lot of built-in frameworks available in Python which could support web development. Through this, the developers can achieve security, scalability, and convenience. Interactive game development. PySoy and Pygame are the packages which are built in Python to support game development. Vega Strike is one of the famous game that was developed using Python. Machine learning and artificial intelligence is another important domain where Python is being used effectively. Data science is another growing domain where Python is being used on a day-to-day basis. We have come to the end of this part. The next video we are going to talk about installing Python and the first program. Thanks for watching. Happy learning. Bye.